Ah, the magic of movies, the smell of buttery popcorn, the thrill of a new blockbuster. And what's this? A $20 collectible popcorn bucket shaped like your favorite character? Welcome to the Blockbuster business. Merchandise? Hi, my name is Jaden and I make commentary video on culture, media, kind of whatever's going on in the world that I feel like yapping about. And today I want to talk about, what's my hair doing? I'm so sorry. It's always in a phase. Today I wanted to talk about Blockbuster movies and how they produce so much media that it's getting out of hand. Have you noticed that when you go to the movies, you always see these like popcorn buckets that are decorated to fit the movie's theme, these collectible cups, and then you go to any store like at the mall or even the grocery store and you see all these branded things for the movie that's coming out, and it's just everywhere. Like, you can't escape it. All these movies are advertising on physical things that you can purchase that you'd see in your everyday, day-to-day life. Just trying to get... Tabitha? What are you getting into? When big movies come out, there's always an influx of merchandise. So much merchandise, to be exact. You'll see a bunch of toys relating to movies, posters, collectibles, popcorn buckets, reusable cups. Everywhere you go, anywhere you go, you'll even see like random like food packaging decorated for the movie. It's kind of getting out of hand, and I kind of wanted to talk about what this is, what it means, and how a big movie release can fuel overconsumption. A lot of the times, movies themselves don't make nearly as much profit as the merchandise related to the movies. Number one example being Frozen. We all remember the craze of Frozen when the movie first came out. It was insanely popular, and my younger sister was one of those Frozen kids who collected absolutely anything and everything related to the movie. It says here that the movie itself made over $1 billion at the box office. However, the merchandise alone brought in over $5 billion. That is crazy. That is so much money, and that's all just on merchandise that, you'll love at the time, of course, but what's going to happen to it over time? Especially with like a kids movie as well. If you're buying all these like Frozen themed stuff like Frozen bed sheets, blankets, pillows, toys, plates, cutlery, all these things, you're just going to grow out of it eventually, and then what's going to happen to it? Are your parents going to throw it away? Are they going to donate it? What's going to happen to it? How's that going to affect the environment? And all that money you put into it as well, you're kind of just throwing it down the drain if you think about it. There's also movies, still speaking of Frozen, because that's the number one example I can think of, movies that are literally made to sell products. So this typically relates more so towards like family geared movies or children movies. Take the Lego movie as an example. The sales in Legos skyrocketed after that movie, of course, because it was there to, show you different Lego sets and their world, and then that will make kids want to play with the toys and kind of recreate those stories. But the movie itself is made to sell products. Same with a lot of Disney movies. A lot of them are made just to sell something to you. They want you to buy whatever is in that movie. And especially I've noticed this a lot with female-geared media. Is that the right word? Female-geared? Media geared towards females or young girls is typically to sell dolls. A lot of the content in like children, like young girl-generated media, stuff made for young girls based off of stereotypes, of course, to sell them a doll. Why do they do this? Because kids like dolls. Dolls are fun. I was a huge doll kid growing up. I still collect dolls to this day, just like, because I think they're pretty. But a lot of those as well, they'll have the characters in different outfits. Barbie movies. Oh my gosh, Barbie movies. Okay. We all know Barbie movies. They're iconic. We love them. We grew up on them. The animation is, yes, kind of terrifying now, but we watch them. We love them. And what happened after every single Barbie movie came out? There'd be a doll drop. You could get the dolls in all the outfits they wear in the movie. The more outfits they wear in the movies, the more outfits and more dolls they'll be able to sell. Are we kind of on the same page here? Also, movies like Transformers that are movies based off of toys. So it might have come out as a toy originally, And then to market it more, instead of just making commercials, they make movies. These are movies that are essentially big ads because they didn't want to do a commercial. Of course, they'll still have commercials for these toys, but they will have the toy, make a movie, aka a long commercial, to try to sell it to the kids as well, because they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like I saw it on the big screen, I need it in real life, and then that boosts more toy sales. A lot of the time as well in movies, they'll have some sort of a mascot character or like an animal sidekick, and again, those are mostly there to sell more merchandise as well. A lot of Disney princesses always have like their little animal sidekicks as well, because that also keeps kids entertained. They love cute little animals. But then there's also like in Despicable Me with the Minions. Those guys were mascots to create a brand image. You'll see something and instantly associate it with that form of media. And then if they have like the cuter the mascot, the more toys they can produce, they can make plushies of it, people buy it, put it on any kind of merch, and they're like, oh, the mascot is so cute, I want to collect everything related to that mascot. With Wicked's release, which came out a couple of months ago, I think it was now, even before the movie came out, you saw all of this branded. Before the movie itself was even released, to hype people up, and of course to sell more merchandise, you would see Wicked tumblers, whatever they call the Stanley Cups. They did a Stanley Cup collab, and people were fighting, like, hand fists, wherever, like, well, I want this one, I want the Glinda, I want the Alphaba. They were all fighting for those. They released Wicked dolls, Wicked Lego sets. They just kept producing all the merchandise. Before the movie even came out, like, people didn't even know if the movie was going to be good, and they were already buying all that merchandise. And that was also a recreation of Wicked, because we all know Wicked was a musical, and then they recreated it as a musical movie. Again, people weren't even sure if they were going to like it, yet the ones that still enjoyed the musical or were just hyped for the movie would still buy the merchandise regardless, and that would already boost sales for the actual movie's release as well. Then you get to some kind of like weird products. I just came across this and I was like, ew, is this real? And I did a little bit of digging and I was like, ew, this is actually real. Wicked mac and cheese. It looks so disgusting. Ew. It is the grossest thing I think I've ever seen. Who wants green mac and cheese? At least the pink one looks somewhat okay, but even that, it's still like, I don't know, kind of looks like someone's organs, and that's really gross, and I don't like that. It's just, I don't know, I feel like sometimes marketing is going a little too far in these cases, because mac and cheese? That is absolutely atrocious. Ew. Moving on from that, let's talk about webisodes of animated toys. Do you remember back in the early 2000s when your favorite dolls would have little like mini series on YouTube which were called webisodes? Because I ate that stuff up. It was, oh my gosh, the best era, honestly. I was obsessed and it worked because I ended up buying the dolls after watching the webisodes, which now that I'm older and looking back, I'm like, oh, webisodes were literally just ads that were formatted like a TV show, so you would buy their stuff. But it also made the characters more personable. You would associate, they would already have their personalities, and then obviously you'd want a doll that kind of reflected who you were based off of their personality you saw in the webisode. Really good marketing, honestly. Like, it just slipped my head as a kid. I was just like, oh, I love this character. They remind me of me. I'm gonna buy them. Thinking about it though, they are just 10-minute long commercials, and you don't even realize it because, you're a kid. You're just like watching your favorite dolls interact. Or maybe even like, maybe you never bought the dolls, but the company was still getting money and revenue based off of you watching all those webisodes. So regardless, they're getting their profit whether they can sell the dolls or they can't sell the dolls. They're getting both the people. Whether you're someone who could have afforded the dolls or someone who couldn't, or if your parents just wouldn't let you buy the doll but you still wanted to like live through it and watch it. Like, that's what I did with Monster High as a kid, because I was not allowed Monster High dolls because they were considered a cult and evil, and, like, the devil lived inside of them or something. I don't know. Highly religious household. I don't make the rules. So, I would watch all the Monster High webisodes and the movies, and I was like, hee, one day I'm gonna buy them. And I did. When I moved down, I got the Draculaura re-release doll. Best purchase I've ever made. Let's discuss the environmental impact now that we've kind of talked about the marketing and how like webisodes and movies are essentially just really long commercials to advertise other products or vice versa. They use products to advertise for the movie, and regardless, they're just taking all your money because corporations are greedy. I say it all the time. Environmental impact. Okay. So, you bought all this merchandise for a movie. Let's say you didn't like the movie. So, all those people that bought all that wicked merchandise before the movie even came out, they didn't like the movie. Now they don't want the merchandise that was associated with the movie. A lot of people will throw it just straight into the trash, which is horrible. If you ever do want to get rid of something, please don't just throw it in the garbage. Recycle it, resell it, donate it, I don't care. Don't throw it out. It's just gonna live in the middle of nowhere forever. A lot of the merchandise as well for these big blockbuster movies and products are also non-recyclable and non-biodegradable. They are made of cheap synthetics that just will not deteriorate over time and just exist in the world forever, which is actually terrifying. Like those, they'll just live there forever and not decompose. They just exist and there's nothing you can do about it. So the best thing obviously is to donate it or re-gift it to someone if you don't want the product. But then what about those products that you still do have and just have laying around? They're just collecting dust. Eventually you might end up moving out or outgrowing it. Just gonna get rid of it. And it's just gonna produce more waste. And even like old CDs, they don't really decompose either. So when you bought all those movies on CDs and you don't like them or the CD's scratched and you can't even like resell it, what are you supposed to do with it? Obviously repurposing it is cool. I've seen a lot of cool like CDs used for like little window decorations. They look really cool and they like reflect the light really cool. That's always a fun thing to do, but it's also not everyone's style. Movies and all their merchandise just creates a really big carbon footprint at the end of the day. Be a little bit more self-conscious about what kind of products you're purchasing and what will happen in the future if you do outgrow it or if you have to move and leave it behind. What are you going to do with it? What's the backup plan? Is it something you'll actually treasure and keep with you forever? Or could you see possibly getting rid of it in the future, and how would you sustainably get rid of it? Here's a little thing I saw on The Guardian. It says, as highlighted by The Guardian, the advertising industry plays a substantial role in promoting consumption, which directly impacts the environment. So, they're aware of it. Everyone knows. The problem isn't just the waste, it is also the amount of stuff made as well. What if you made all this merchandise and it doesn't sell? It's just gonna sit there. Nothing's gonna happen to it. Companies can be sketchy, and if they don't sell all their products and there's nothing they can do with it, sometimes they'll just chuck it, and that's not good either. So, yeah. Now that we've kind of discussed how big movies produce so much product and, how a lot of them are just created as well to sell stuff to you, what should we kind of do when we are interested in a movie and we do want to support it? Best thing is to kind of think twice and think about if that is a product that you would keep and actually cherish and enjoy, or if it's like an impulse purchase. Did you just happen to see that tumbler with like your favorite movie characters on it, or with a picture of your favorite movie quote or something? Do you really need it? Do you already have a bunch of mugs at home? Do you really need it? Will it bring you joy? Could you see yourself using it for like until it wears out? How are you gonna safely dispose of it? Can you repurpose it in some way? That goes for like anything when you're shopping, really. Like, think of ways to reuse it, and if you end up not liking it, how are you going to re-gift it, resell it, repurpose it? The whole, the usual. Just the simple sustainable option of what you can do. That's not to say that you shouldn't buy products from media that you enjoy. I mean, like, look at my walls here. I have a lot of anime merch, and I've had it for years. I used to be a really big collector for a lot of things. I mostly, though, buy local stuff. Like, a lot of these pictures are, like, painted by people from, like, anime conventions, drawn, painted, digitally created, whatever. It's all art, and the money I know is also going to, like, actual small businesses, local artists, all that fun stuff. But then there's also the bigger things that do come from the companies themselves. My Squishmallow, sweet little Joelle back here, I've had her, I think, like, since she came out. I've had her for a while. I love her. And I could never see myself parting with this Squishmallow because I love it. It's great. It's comfy, it's cozy, it's comforting. And then I also have a lot of, like, anime figurines and plushies, and I do buy dolls as well. It's just kind of like knowing the longevity of these things. Is it something that will continuously bring you joy forever? Or are you just trying to hop onto a trend and only buy things because they're popular, and then when the fad dies out, are you still going to use it? Things to think about. What are your thoughts on big movies and the super, super big world of their marketing and all of the products that they sell? Do you buy into all of those? Do you buy all the merch you see? Was there a movie you were really excited for? I want to hear your thoughts. Specifically for anything, really. Like, was there a movie or TV show or something that inspired you to buy a product related to it? Do you still have it to this day? Or did you get rid of it? Did you learn anything from having it and buying it? Did it give you joy? Did it sit on a shelf and gather dust and then you eventually got rid of it? I would love to know. I'd also love to know your thoughts and, yeah, just everything. Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!